Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I just want to give you the breaking news on Odion Ighalo. It got announced earlier on today that Odion Ighalo has extended his loan deal with Manchester United until the end of January 2021. So Odion Ighalo will be staying at the football club for another 7 months. By the way, there is no option for Manchester United to buy Odion Ighalo at the end of the loan and that. Now, obviously, we got Odion Ighalo on deadline day in January. So obviously, we did get him on a 6-month loan, and we did, pay around £4 million to get him on loan. His initial stay actually, ended yesterday, Odion Ighalo's, before it got confirmed that, we'd extended his loan until the end of January 2021. Now, this is, very, very good news for a lot of Manchester United fans. Now, don't forget, it did say back in March that Shanghai Shenhua, his parent club, had offered him a 2-year deal worth £400,000 a week, to convince him to turn down a permanent move to Manchester United, because Shanghai Shenhua did say quite a few weeks ago that, they do want around £20 million to let Odion Ighalo go on a permanent transfer. Odion Ighalo's current contract with Shanghai Shenhua ends in 2022, but I think actually, Shanghai Shenhua are going to negotiate getting him a new contract, when he does return to Shanghai Shenhua. And don't forget, it said last week that Odion Ighalo will risk a 75 million contract with Shanghai Shenhua, to remain at Manchester United and that. But, this is actually, very, very positive news. Like I said, Odion Ighalo's got 4 goals in 8 appearances for the football club so far. Obviously, two of the goals came against Derby in the FA Cup. Didn't one of the goals come against Club Brugge as well? And he also scored in the last game as well, the last game that Manchester United did play. But like I mentioned, he has been a very, very good cover up to Marcus Rashford as Odion Ighalo. At the moment, we are paying like a third of his wages, because I think his wages at the moment at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week. Don't forget, Odion Ighalo's agent has been talking a lot recently, and he did actually say last week that Odion Ighalo was close to agreeing a contract extension with Manchester United. But Ighalo did reveal that he wants to stay at the football club. Also, Solskjaer, wants him to stay at the football club. So he is going to be here for another 7 months, is Odion Ighalo. So, that is the breaking news on him. And like I said, Odion Ighalo is, proven in the Premier League. He's an option of a different type of centre forward. He is a lifelong Manchester United fan. Obviously, before Ighalo was at Shanghai Shenhua, don't forget he endured around, quite a few years with Watford. I think he scored like 39 goals in 99 games during his time at Watford. And when he was at Watford, I think he played against Manchester United quite a few times. But Shanghai Shenhua did actually, say that they'd softened their stance on Odion Ighalo, and it did say they was willing to allow him to extend his loan at Man United, as long as, he signs this 2-year deal worth £400,000 a week. But, we've been in talks with Shanghai Shenhua for quite some time. So, yeah, that has now been confirmed. So, I just wanted to give you the breaking news on that. Now, I want to delve into some news on Raheem Sterling from Manchester City, because, I haven't actually, mentioned Raheem Sterling, for quite a while. I don't think I've ever mentioned him hardly, since I've started YouTubing. But there's actually, reports coming out regarding Raheem Sterling, saying that, Man United are interested in him. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of Raheem Sterling. Now, I think these stories are stemming from the Independent and that. And I've just actually read it in the Daily Express, and it does actually say that Manchester United could sign Raheem Sterling if Manchester City have their Champions League ban upheld. I think Manchester City's 2-year ban from the Champions League is going to be heard by CAS sometime this month. I think we'll know the outcome on the 8th, the 9th or the 10th of June, because don't forget, Manchester City did appeal against the decision. They got banned from the Champions League, did Manchester City. they got banned from the Champions League for breaking financial fair play rules and that, you know. So yeah, this is a surprise. Raheem Sterling, of course, is a very, very good player. His versatility is very, very good. Sterling, I think he's supposed to be more effective from the wing, but you can play him as an attacking midfielder. You can also play him as a striker. Raheem Sterling has got a contract with Manchester City until 2023, I think. Was it quite a few years ago? He extended his contract on Manchester City. He is on around £300,000 a week or something like that. He's Raheem Sterling. This has been, by the way, his 5th season with Manchester City. Don't forget he's won the PFA quite a few times, reflects on his good run of performances. Also, too, he won the Golden Boy Award back in 2014. Obviously, he's won back-to-back Premier League titles with Manchester City. City, did pay, was it around £49 million for him from Liverpool back in 2015. And I think at that point, he was the most expensive English player. Well, it was the highest transfer fee paid for an English player at that time. Like I mentioned before, he was at City, he was at Liverpool. He enjoyed a good 4 or 5 years with Liverpool, did Raheem Sterling. And obviously, before he was at Liverpool, he was at QPR. So these stories have been coming out saying that Manchester United are interested in Raheem Sterling. I think he's made a good 155 appearances in the Premier League for City since his arrival. I'm very, very sceptical that Sterling will come to Man United, to be quite honest with you, because, Man United and Man City don't really do transfer business together. Obviously, Tevez, though, did leave us to go to Manchester City, a lot of years ago now, that is. But the main explanation, revert back to what I said regarding Sterling, the main explanation why I left Liverpool is obviously, with the dispute over a new contract. So he just decided, to join Manchester City. And Raheem Sterling is 25 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him in that. But I don't think he'll come to Manchester United. You saw my video that I did this morning. I give you the breaking news on Kai Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen. These stories have been stemming from Sky Sports, and they've also been in a few other media outlets saying that Manchester United are leading the race for Kai Havertz, and we are preparing to put around the £50 million bidding for the player. Whether that £50 million is going to be enough to convince Leverkusen to offload him or not, I do not know. Because obviously, Leverkusen did say earlier on in the season, if they are to sell Kai Havertz, they do want at least 90 million. Maybe they could demand even £100 million for the player. Now, there's been a few clubs that have been in for Kai Havertz. Liverpool have been relentlessly linked to him. Bayern Munich have been in for him. Chelsea have also been in for Kai Havertz. But yeah, so he's now on Manchester United's agenda. Kai Havertz can play as an attacking midfielder, and he can also play as a winner. Can Kai Havertz. So again, versatility, very, very good. Kai Havertz is only the age of 20, but I do believe he's nearly now 21. I think he is 21 next week. Up until this point, Kai Havertz has spent the entirety of his career with Bayer Leverkusen, so he's remained loyal to them for several years. Kai Havertz was in Bayer Leverkusen's youth setup for a good 6 or 7 years, and he's been in their senior squad since 2016, and since then he has become an integral part of their team. Don't forget, Kai Havertz became the youngest debutant in the Bundesliga. He also became the youngest player to reach a milestone of 50 and 100 appearances in the German top flight. So reportedly now we are emerged as the favourites to sign Kai Havertz. But actually, Solskjaer is planning a double transfer route because he wants to get Kai Havertz and he also wants to get Jadon Sancho. So if we were to get Havertz for 50 million and Jadon Sancho for 100 million, that obviously, would be £150 million spent on 2 players. The news on Jadon Sancho. As you all know, Jadon Sancho is our number 1 priority target. Don't forget, Borussia Dortmund did beat Paderborn by 6-1 yesterday, and Jadon Sancho had scored an hat-trick. And don't forget, Jadon Sancho paid tribute to George Floyd. By the way, that game yesterday was Jadon Sancho's first start in the Bundesliga since the Bundesliga returned. Don't forget, Jadon Sancho's just recently recovered from a calf injury. Don't forget. And don't forget, it also recently mentioned that we are set to discuss swap deals and loans with Borussia Dortmund, to fund the £100 million move for Jadon Sancho. Don't forget, it did say last week that Jadon Sancho's move to Manchester United depends on Manchester City having their European ban upheld. So obviously, that could play a part in it as well. But I think, Jadon Sancho has revealed that his preferred option would be a move to Manchester United if he does leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer transfer window. Now, obviously, there were stories coming out from Mundo Deportivo last week saying that, we'd offered Alexis Sanchez to Borussia Dortmund in a swap deal for Jadon Sancho. Like I said to you, I was very, very sceptical, that swap deal was going to materialise. I was very, very sceptical about that happening. But like I said, Borussia Dortmund still remain ruthless over their valuation. They have still said that they want at least £100 million. We did say quite a few weeks ago we are reluctant to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. It said quite a few weeks ago we was only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for the player. Don't forget the Borussia Dortmund assistant coach actually said that Jadon Sancho is affected by the speculation, linking him with a move to Manchester United. And obviously, he's, found, this coronavirus, very, very difficult, as Jadon Sancho. You had David Ornstein coming out quite a few weeks ago now, who's a credible journalist, and he said there's a very high chance that Sancho will join Man United in the summer transfer window. But we still remain the favourites to sign him. Don't forget, we first expressed our interest in Sancho in 2017. This was under the Jose Mourinho era, and since then, we've been in for him basically. We've been in for him. And I've got to make an admission, I think Jadon Sancho's been a revelation since his arrival in Germany. Borussia Dortmund only paid £8 million in from Man City back in 2017. That's all they paid for him. So Dortmund are looking to make a huge profit on the player. I think Dortmund have been in the process of trying to extend his contract, but I don't think Jadon Sancho's got any intentions of extending his contract. Because his current contract at Borussia Dortmund does expire in 2022. And like I said, Borussia Dortmund is the third club in his playing career, because before he was at Borussia Dortmund, he was at Man City. He enjoyed a few years with Man City, but he never got assured any first team opportunities at Man City. That's why he left. And before he was at Man City, he was at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. And like I've mentioned before, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club because they have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years and that. But, we've been working on Jadon Sancho's contracts for quite some time, and we've also been in negotiations with his agent. Don't forget, we've already confirmed that we are willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7, because obviously, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. And like I've said, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Obviously, we had the likes of Ronaldo. Best player we've definitely had in the Premier League era. Obviously, we had the likes of George Best, Eric Cantona, David Beckham and that in the number 7. But there again, our recent number 7s haven't been so good. But, if we could get Sancho, I would be very, very, very excited about the prospect of him playing alongside the likes of Rashford, Greenwood and Anthony Martial in our attacking line. And don't forget, Sancho's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. But, I don't know if we are going to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window, but, there's still a possibility chance that he could stay at Dortmund for next season. He could leave next summer instead, of this summer transfer window. Jadon Sancho's only the age of 20, and he is, predominantly a right winger. He is predominantly a right winger, don't forget. So, we'll see what happens with that anyways, but, we definitely want to get Jadon Sancho on the board. You know the news on Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Obviously, reports were coming out yesterday from quite a few media outlets, and they said that Saul Niguez posted a tweet saying that he will announce his next club in 3 days' time. So obviously now it's around 2 days he will announce his next club. Obviously, we've been in for Saul Niguez, and don't forget, reports from the Spanish press come out the other week and said that Saul Niguez to Manchester United is practically done. and confirmation will be expected at the end of the season. It says the fee and that had been agreed. It says we're going to get him for around, is it 70 million or just over 70 million pounds. Sal Niguez's release clause is around 130 odd million in his Atletico Madrid contract. Atletico Madrid did say earlier on this season that, if they were to sell Sal Niguez, they would demand for his release clause to be triggered, but no club would be willing to trigger his release clause. But now, due to the financial issues and that, with the coronavirus, I think Atletico Madrid are going to have to accept 70 million or just over 70 million pounds for him. Now, Sal Niguez has got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2026. Obviously, back in 2017, Sal Niguez had signed a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid, a 9-year contract. And that's obviously, when the release clause came into the equation. This is actually, being Sal Niguez's 12th season at Atletico Madrid, and he's actually, spent the vast majority of his career with them. Obviously, Sal Niguez can play as a box-to-box midfielder. He can also play as a holding midfielder, and when he was younger, he was predominantly a centre-half. He has made over 300 appearances for Atletico Madrid in all competitions as a player, and he is in his mid-20s. Revert back before the football season was suspended. He said, we'd actually instructed scouts to watch Sal Niguez in Atletico Madrid's 3-2 win against Liverpool in the last 16 of the Champions League. It also says, we are willing to offer him wages of nearly £200,000 a week. That's what it also mentioned before the football season got suspended. But there you go. There's been a few players that have been linked with moves away from Atletico Madrid, though, don't forget. Obviously, there was talks of Thomas Partey leaving, and Atletico Madrid anyway have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Don't forget, they lost Rodri last year to Man City. They also lost Griezmann last summer after he endured 5 years with Atletico Madrid. They lost Diego Godin. They lost Raul Jimenez back in 2014. But, to be fair, Atletico Madrid have recruited quite a few players in recent years. You got João Felix. They got Diego Costa Morata in recent years. They got Kieran Trippier in. They also got Thomas Lemar in. So there you go. I think a lot of Man United fans are very, very sceptical, though, that Sal Niguez will be coming to the club. Maybe some Man United fans don't think there's a lot of trustworthy regarding this story about Sal Niguez. But that's obviously what it has said anyway. But we are seeing Sal Niguez as an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But, there's been so many players on our agenda, as you all know, so many players on our agenda. But the most players that have been linked with Manchester United, the most names that have been mentioned in mainstream media is Jadon Sancho, Jude Bellingham and Jack Grealish, because, of course, they are our priority targets in that. Obviously, Villa have said they want 80 million for Jack Grealish, but maybe we've got reservations about paying £80 million for Jack Grealish. But obviously, Solskjaer's already revealed his plans for the summer transfer window anyway. He's confirmed that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. And he's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up, Solskjaer and that. But like I said, a lot of clubs are going to face an unprecedented summer transfer window, due to, the coronavirus crisis. And I think the top 6, do fear our transfer strategy for the summer transfer window. And like I've said, Solskjaer does deserve at least a couple of more transfer windows at the club, and he does deserve at least another season at the football club, because it is a transition period, and like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. But it has been a transition period for quite some time, so let's just, put that into the equation. Don't forget, Solskjaer was close to getting sacked earlier on in the season, and at that point there was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. There was also talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in at that point. Don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United before Solskjaer got the job permanently in March last year. Obviously, the main explanation why Solskjaer got the job permanently was reflecting on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, because obviously, Ed Woodward has said on quite a few occasions this season that he's willing to back Solskjaer. Also, too, he has assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe. And also, too, Solskjaer has got the backing of the Glazers because the Glazers recently revealed their stance on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. Now, I've been very, very critical of Solskjaer this season. You know, a lot of Manchester United fans, though, in general, have been very, very critical of him. I hate to be critical of, you know, someone, you know, who was a legend of the club, and, you know, he was a great player for us for 11 years, and he flourished under Ferguson's guidance and that. But I criticised him, you know, when he deserved to be criticised, Solskjaer. But to be fair, you know, before the football season got suspended, you know, we was in a good vein of form anyway, because don't forget we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. And of course, you know, we are looking to keep this good run of form up, you know, when the football season does resume. But we haven't only been critical of Solskjaer, you know, obviously, you know, we've been critical of Ed Woodward for several years. You know, Woodward's been at the football club since 2012, so this has been his 8th year at Manchester United. But the main explanations why we've criticised Ed Woodward is reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy has been in the last 6 or 7 years. Also, too, with us overpaying for players, you know, his poor selection of managers. So these are the reasons why he has been criticised in that, you know. Also, too, the Glazers have been criticised as well. The years they've been here, and the Glazers have been at Man United since 2005. You know, it's now 2020, so the Glazers have been at Man United for 15 years. I think it did reveal not too long ago that we paid approximately 1.5 billion in the 15 years that the Glazers have been here. So we've paid this money for the privilege of obviously, you know, being owned by the Glazers. Don't forget, it got revealed last year that, you know, the Glazers had held talks with the Saudi Arabians about possibly, you know, buying the club and that. But the Glazers have confirmed they are not willing to sell Manchester United. So there you go. And obviously, you know, I criticised a lot of players as well earlier on in the season because they were not performing to the standards, you know, as we should expect from them and all of that. But like I've mentioned to you know, I've seen changes under Solskjaer, and Solskjaer revealed before the football season got suspended and what has changed at Manchester United, you know, since he replaced Jose Mourinho back in December 2018. And to be fair, you know, he has, you know, changed quite a few stuff. Not only that, I've also seen improvements since Solskjaer came in. You know, like I mentioned, I think, you know, there's definitely players that have improved under Solskjaer. We've definitely improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. You know, what I mean is, you know, Solskjaer's recommended the players so far that he wanted to recommend in. Obviously, you know, so far Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club, and obviously, you know, spent over £200 million, over £200 million. You know, but the 5 players he's recommended in have, you know, have done very, very well. Obviously, you know, last summer he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire. And of course, in January, he recommended Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. Definitely the signing of Bruno Fernandes, you know, saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United, because Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. Like I said, we've also improved against the Big Six sides this season, because we registered 17 points against the Big Six sides this season. And that. Also, too, Solskjaer's given more or less everybody the chance, because when Solskjaer did get appointed in as Manchester United manager, he did say that all the players will get their chances to express themselves. I've also got to say that Solskjaer has promoted the youth very, very well. You know, the young players have been given their chances. Some young players, you know, young players have found game time difficult, like Tahith Chon, his appearances have been limited. James Garner, his appearances have been limited. Angel Gomez, he's also found game time very, very difficult as well. So there you go. And, you know, credit Solskjaer as well, because, you know, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. I think a total of 19 players have been offloaded since Solskjaer came in, around 8 or 19, I think 9 senior players left and around 10 young players left as well, you know. But it's been confirmed that the season is going to be resumed. Premier League season is going to be resuming on the 17th of June. It's going to be finishing on the 25th of July as the Premier League season. Obviously, you know, there's 9 games remaining in the Premier League. There's 92 games to play in all competitions. But it's very, very good that it's resuming, because I think 17th of June's just over 2 weeks away. But it's good for us that it's resuming, like I mentioned, because, you know, we've got quite a few priorities. You know, the FA Cup's a priority for us. The Europa League's a priority for us. because the FA Cup and the Europa League is a chance of us getting some silverware on the board, because we're not yet won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. And if we could win the FA Cup and the Europa League, or even at least one of them, it would be a memorable first full season for Solskjaer. Solskjaer's now been at the football club nearly a year and a half and that. And obviously, we're chasing that top four, so the top four is a priority for us because, we do want qualification for the Champions League for next season, so we can actually, attract players to the elite level. And like I said to there's decisions that Man United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have got to make in the summer transfer window. What players we're going to recommend in, and of course what players we are going to get rid of. We're going to get rid of at least, I think, 5 players in the summer transfer window, and we're going to generate money in that aspect of offloading players, because he's still deadwood at the football club. I think we're definitely going to get rid of Phil Jones. We're going to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We're going to get rid of Andres Pereira because they're very inconsistent. Like I said, Small and Rojo, they'll probably go on permanent transfers. In recent weeks, it's said that Barcelona and PSG have been interested in Diego Dalot, but I think Solskjaer said he's determined to keep Diego Dalot. Don't forget we got Diego Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window at the club. We paid around £19 million in from Porto. Pogba, still a lot of uncertainty over his future. There's still rumours actually, saying that Paul Pogba could leave Man United, but I think Paul Pogba, will be at the football club next season. Not too sure though about the foreseeable future. Don't forget, like I mentioned yesterday, it said we failed to re-sign Pogba back in 2013 under Moyes. Moyes actually, wanted to get Cesc Fabregas for 25 million at that point. So this is why, we didn't get, Paul Pogba back and that. I think we believe that Mini Raioola's only the one that wants Paul Pogba to depart the football club in the summer transfer window. Don't forget swap deals have been on the agenda. It says recently from the Italian press that we are open to swapping Pogba for Adrian Rabiot. Said last week that Real Madrid had offered up to 4 of their players for Pogba. So there you go. I think he'll stay at Manchester United. Angel Gomez, I think he'll go because there's no signs of him signing a new contract. Don't forget, he said last week we'd offered him a new... Well, in fact, this was the final contract offer we made. We'd offered him around 1.5 million a year. Whether he accepts this or not, I do not know. Ghana will probably go out on loan. We know the news on Alexis Sanchez already. Inter Milan have come out and said that they want to extend Alexis Sanchez's loan. So Inter Milan have confirmed he'll stay at Inter Milan till the end of the season. Sanchez joined Inter Milan on a 10-month loan last summer. Inter Milan don't have the option to buy him, no. They don't have the option to buy him. But I don't know what's going to be happening, with Sanchez when his loan expires on the 30th of June. Inter Milan going to consider getting him permanently? Is he going to go back out on loan for next season? Because I don't think we'll take Sanchez back at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. So players are going to definitely, depart the football club in the summer transfer window. There's decisions we've got to make before the season resumes as well, and there's decisions we've got to make ahead of next season. Of what players, who's our first choice left back going to be, because we are facing a dilemma at left back at the moment. I know Luke Shaw's our first choice left back, but Brandon Williams is now on the horizon, and he's done well in the games he's played in. Probably Luke Shaw will remain our first choice left back because Luke Shaw's obviously more experienced but injury prone. That's my limited concern about him. Goalkeeping decision has already been made. De Gea is going to remain our number 1 next season. I think, Solskjaer needs to work out his best 11 like I mentioned, because he's been making a lot of rotation this season. Also, too, probably needs to work out his best formation because he's been changing formation persistently as well this season. So these decisions Man United have got to make, vital decisions. So there you go. Don't forget, confirmed last week that we'd taken a £140 million loan from the £150 million revolving credit facility, for us to help us through the coronavirus crisis and to help us fund moves in the summer transfer window and that. Don't forget now our net debt is £429 million. Ed Woodward though did say last month that we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So let's just put that into the equation. But the players that are on Manchester United's agenda and that, like I said, in the last 6 or 7 years, we spent close to the £1 billion range on players, and we've recruited over 30 odd players in, since the Alex Ferguson era. We really, really have. And, Solskjaer is our fourth permanent manager since the Ferguson era. 3 managers have left they've been sacked from the club since Fergie left, and that was Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho and that. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.